Alright, what's up guys? This is going to be an Infernax review. So Infernax is a retro metroidvania game that came out earlier this year, around sometime in February. It's a pretty interesting game as far as retro games go. It's got a little bit of everything. One of the more unique aspects of this game is every time you die, depending on how you die or what kills you, there is a unique animation that plays out. So let's take a look at a couple of them here. They're usually pretty entertaining, and it's a little treat every time something happens to kill you or the environment kills you, you meet your demise. Especially the boss ones. The boss ones are pretty unique. I almost regret not dying on some of the bosses just because I was curious to see the animation that would have played out. One of the other unique things about this game that adds a lot of depth to it is you get to make some pretty interesting choices, and there's a hidden morality system in the game. So you can choose to be good or evil, and sometimes it's not entirely clear what effect that will have on your morality based off the choice that you make. So in one instance, you can choose right at the start of the game to either help this individual or he's begging you to kill him. You can choose to slay him. And helping him, if you choose that option, he actually turns into a huge, grotesque monster and will then try and kill you. If you slay him, however, it will just instantly put him out of his misery. So that's one interesting choice, and depending on which you choose, it affects some quests later on down the road. This game also has a quest system, so there's some side quests and main story quests. It's pretty cool. There is also a lot of upgrades in the game that you can unlock, and it's kind of almost like a Mega Man vibe. When you get the upgrade, there's a little pause and you'll raise your weapon in the air and the upgrade will come drifting up into the sky and then down into your inventory. The sound effects in the game are also very well done, as is the music tracks. You can feel the impacts from the hits and good indicators as far as what's happening in the game, whether you avoided an attack or you took damage. Bosses flash to indicate when they're taking damage. Their death animations are also funny and well done. They'll kind of explode in a Mega Man style fashion with as if they're a robot, and then their guts will just burst everywhere and tons of blood and gore will spill out. The boss fights are challenging, but not to the point where it's frustrating. So far in my experience with the game, I've cleared the first 4 or 5 dungeons and done several side quests, and have not experienced any point in the game where I got frustrated. As far as the story goes, this is the opening cutscene. Basically, you're just returning from the Crusades to find that someone brought the Necronomicon to your lands and have kind of tainted and corrupted everything, and you're trying to get to the bottom of that. You can choose either to eradicate the evil or basically become the ultimate evil and slaughter all of your people, which is kind of interesting. So you just show up on this boat and you get down to it, start killing everybody. The side quests are also well done. They'll kind of point you in a direction, and typically you either just come across it in your playthrough or you just happen to know where to go. This was a side quest I had to go to this tomb, and then when I got there, this skeleton mini-boss spawned, so I had to deal with him. You get gold and XP typically for the rewards. One of the other things I forgot to mention in terms of upgrades is there are also spells, which have more than one function, and I have found so far that the spells are also upgradable. I've got a shield spell, and then later through some questing I was able to upgrade that shield spell to also heal 2 hit points of damage along with casting it, so I'm not sure how many spells have that option, but it appears to be in the game. They also have some unique mechanics. There was this area, I was kind of at a point where I wasn't exactly sure where to go. There were just some townspeople saying there was a castle out in, that they saw a castle out in the middle of this water during the last storm. So I tried going there in the day and at night, and thinking maybe the day and night cycle might have something to do with it. I also tried just jumping out into the water, but that just led to me dying. So then I cast a lightning spell there, and then that summoned the castle, so there's also that use for spells. The game also has platforming, and the platforming is pretty well done. Like, the timing of the jumps is somewhat challenging, but it's not to the point where it makes you want to throw your controller or just that you get angry and pissed off at the game. Most of the platforming challenges I was able to just pass through on my first or second attempt. So nothing too crazy, but at the same time, it's also unforgiving if you happen to make a mistake, which in my opinion is good game design. The game also does a good job at just directing you where to go without actually explicitly telling you where to go. As you play, you'll unlock certain either abilities or skills that, kind of like in Zelda, it'll allow you to do something like break a brick to gain access to a new area, or a high jump that will allow you to gain access to a new area. So typically once you unlock those skills, you'll see, oh, I can use this to access this area, and then that you've seen before, so then you'll head there, and that will lead to the next castle dungeon that you need to explore. The boss fights are also well done. They are challenging, but not impossible, not too difficult. Most of the bosses I've been able to beat on either first or second attempt without too much difficulty. It also could be maybe I'm a little over leveled, because I'll stop and grind from time to time. As you saw there, you unlock an ability at one point to hit back projectiles, and your shield also has a function in this game. It's not just there for decoration. You can block projectile attacks with it. You just have to, if you attack, it opens you up to get hit by a projectile, or if the projectile is hitting you in the knees and you're standing, you will take damage. However, if you crouch, you can block those low projectiles, and if you're crouching, you'll also duck under the higher projectiles. So you do have some defensive capabilities that are kind of cool. And then here you'll see, after you beat a boss, you crush one of these gems, and then that will, once you beat all the bosses, to open up this gate, you'll get to one of the main bosses. So all in all, I think it's a great game. I'd highly recommend checking it out. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. It helps me out. Remember to give them the D.